One. Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks podcast with your host, Katriel. This season, we are focusing our energy on the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series. We have all of our practitioners from the series coming on board, and we get to know a little bit more about them. So we have the in-person Aquarius practitioner here. Her name is Elizabeth Faubert. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so excited. So um for this particular class with Aquarius, we're really focusing on those shifts, um like this electrifying energy. And the best way that I could really um bring that to the physical world um was laughter yoga. And so it was quite funny because I was like, all right, I don't know anyone right now who is, a laughter yogi. I don't know if that's the proper term.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome. And so I reached out on Facebook and I was like asking in all of my little corners, and God bless Kristen, who was on our podcast yesterday, for the online Aquarius. So I find it funny she attracted another, Aquarius class for me. And I was just so thankful to get in contact with you. You have no idea. So I would love to know a little bit more about you and how you got into laughter yoga or on this path. Um, and yeah.
Well, I found laughter yoga for myself, and it was really just, a divine happening. I had some changes in my life. My mother was getting older, and the decision was made that she would move in with me so I could take care of her. And, things got very serious, as they do sometimes when you're caring for a family member or somebody else. And I thought, wow, like all of a sudden I felt some stress and, a lot of responsibility, a big life change, I was living with my mother again for the first time since I was 18 years old. That was weird. So,
Wow.
so one day I went over to the Dunedin Community Center and they had a sign hanging there that said laughter yoga class. And so I just went. I had no idea what it was. And this was about 13 years ago. And so I went to the class and I had a great time. I thought everybody was crazy. I thought these people are nuts, but I loved it. And so I kept going back. And after about a month, the class was only once a week. And after about a month, I said to the instructor, wow, like, I am feeling so much lighter. I'm laughing so much more, et cetera, et cetera. And she said, that's what happens. That's what happens when you practice this. It just, it goes out into all areas of your life. So I just kept going. And then I met more people. And then I met somebody who was a laughter yoga teacher that can certify other people. So I connected with her and then I took the class to become a certified teacher myself.
Wow. And so you have weekly classes
Well, right now my classes are every other week at the
every other
Dunedin
week.
Community Garden. Mhm.
Wow. What days?
It's every other Saturday. So you can always check with me which Saturday it is. We just
Okay.
decided to do it that way because, there's always so many things going on in Dunedin on a Saturday. So as a group, we decided let's just have it every other Saturday. And it's at 11 a.m. every other Saturday.
Gotcha. Cool.
Mhm.
For anyone who's in the Dunedin area, um, you can do that as a routine every 2 weeks.
Mhm. And the class is free.
Oh, brilliant. Cool.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
wow. So like, you know, when I did laughter yoga the first time, I actually did it for this series the first time I launched it. And ironically, it was the last class that I did for that series because well, the world started to shut down.
Oh.
And I literally said to myself, did we just like do something, some weird magical thing where we just like shook up the world? And then I started to laugh. And I'm
Mhm.
like, but you know, it's I like I'm so glad I was introduced to this because it my granny always told me from like when I was a little kid, you know, laughter is the best source of medicine. And it
Mhm.
truly is. And what I learned in this class, and you can definitely let me know if I'm wrong, but um from Sparky Lovejoy, I believe what she said is the body doesn't recognize the difference between a fake laugh and a real laugh. Is that
That's
correct?
right. Yes. Yeah, that's one of
Could
the
you
things that they've studied. Mhm.
could you
So laughter
expand
yoga,
on sorry.
yes, laughter yoga was started in 1995 by a medical doctor because, as you said, laughter is the best medicine. So he wanted to prescribe laughter to his patients, but how do you tell somebody just go home and laugh? So he invented these laughter exercises and laughter clubs where people could all get together and do this, and the science. They've done more and more research on this, but many years ago, there's been books written about people practicing laughter to cure themselves from illness. So um, the research shows that whether you laugh at because something's funny or whether you just make yourself laugh, like ha 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 ha, it doesn't matter. Your body can't tell the difference. Your body has the same healing effects either way. I like to tell people it's really just nature, because in nature, when we're laughing, typically we're having a good time, we're feeling good, we're healthy and happy. So even if we just fake it, it's our bodies still say, oh, I'm having a good time, I'm happy, I'm healthy. We start creating the great endorphins.
Yeah, and you know, that alchemical change is super interesting. Like the one thing with Aquarius is very scientific, ironically. And it's a very unique energy. It's not cookie cutter. And so that's why I felt like laughter yoga was like perfect for this because with that science aspect is every single time we think about something, let's just say like you know, things are super heavy with like let's just say my business, right? And I keep telling myself the story, man, this is just like this is like there's too many things coming through. I don't have all my stuff organized, all of this. And then we take that laughter medicine and then we start to like actually start laughing at our like things that are making us super filled with anxiety essentially. Then we start creating new neural pathways, right? Of like a new like relationship with with our business because we've found that laughter. And even though it was like we were not laughing at it at first because it was like funny, it was just super heavy. We actually shifted it into a different frequency and created a new relationship alchemically in the brain space. And it's like, whoa, that truly was science. Like that is neuroscience. And that's like
Mhm.
so fascinating to me. You know, like we have so many tools like this, and I'm so glad that I get to really touch base on this and in this series to actually bring facts and we can track this, which is cool.
Yes.
Have you ever done like a laughter journal at all? like see something shift and change like after you started to laugh about it or whatever.
Oh, definitely, all the time. One
Yeah.
of the things in laughter yoga, I always tell the story about how when I first went to laughter yoga, one of the laughter exercises they did was you go out to the parking lot and your car won't start. Ha 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 ha. Ha. And I laughed, with them, but I thought that's not funny, you know. But what I but I learned that it doesn't it you know that's not it doesn't have to be that stressful thing that sometimes we're programmed to know it to be, you
Mm,
know, because we all know, the car will start again or it will get towed somewhere or whatever, um, our reaction to it isn't going to change what happens really, like we don't have to be stressed out about that, right? So that's one of the things I learned. And so when we're doing laughter yoga, we do a lot of that, where we change our reaction to certain things that, like small things like you're in the kitchen and you drop a dozen raw eggs. Ha 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 ha. Instead of, swearing, you laugh about it, you laugh while you're cleaning it up. And, all kinds of things like that, and that over the time that I've been doing it, I noticed like more and more it happens more naturally for me
mm.
to my response to be laughing.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm, mhm.
That's
Really
incredible.
cool. Hmm.
Um, so I'm curious, what else do you do other than laughter yoga? And I think you said you do photography, right?
That's right. Yes. I have been a photographer since high school. I
Cool.
was an art major in high school, and that was a long time ago. But I was an art major in high school. And as you know, when you're an art major, you take all the different disciplines, all the different mediums. And I was lucky my high school had a dark room. So I started working in the darkroom and I just fell in love with it. And I've been doing photography ever since then. And I do all different kinds of photography, because now it's been about like 44 or 45 years that I've been making photos.
Hmm.
So of course, over the course of all that time, I've done lots of different things, all kinds of different photography. And I'm very grateful that I still find inspiration in so many things. And I have a couple series of photos that I've done art shows with and things like that.
Hmm. That's really cool. I love that.
Hmm.
Wow. Um, that's you know, for our celebration events for the series, I think it would be really cool to maybe, like maybe you could show some of that.
Okay, sure. Hmm.
That, that
And
would be
and
really,
another interesting tie-in in life and how
yeah.
things can connect, like the universe sometimes just works in such wonderful ways, as we know. And some of the photos that I make, the one series I have called The Literary Animal, are
Yeah.
photos of animals reading books. And somehow the book always correlates to the animal somehow. Like, for instance, the cat reads of mice and men, and the pig reads the South Beach Diet book. And most of most of them are humorous. It's like that was a way for me to incorporate my humor into my photography, and I've been doing that for a long time. Like the first one I did was my cat, and then I started thinking, well, what would a dog read, and then what would this animal read, et cetera, et cetera. And when I started doing art shows with those, it was great because people would come up to my booth and they'd be looking at the photos and laughing. And that was really like the first, it was so wonderful just to have people looking at my artwork and laughing and having a good time. And then it was after that that I, just gravitated right toward laughter yoga when I found it. And I thought, this really just fits right in for me, the whole thing. So I feel very grateful that I found some artistic work that also makes people laugh. I don't know how else to put it, but
That's awesome. That was exactly my next question is like, have you used your art to integrate what you've been, like experiencing in laughter yoga? So that's like perfect. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, wow. Like, and that's it, I feel like art can really change the world, you know? And it's all on how we frame it. And like we need more of that in this world. Especially, we think about Aquarius. Aquarius is all connected to groups. And it's it's not just the self, it's one heart. It's we're all doing this together. And I love the fact that like you've you're doing this at the Dunedin Community Gardens, it's very community oriented. It's really helping a lot of people. Actually, could you tell us a little bit more about the Dunedin Community Gardens? Because when you took us, or when you took us, apparently there's an us here. Okay. When we met at the Dunedin Community Gardens, it was such a beautiful space, and I would love to get involved. And like I'm really trying to reorganize my life right now because there's certain things that you can just do that's so simple because and I'm trying to make those positive changes now. And I feel like volunteering would be amazing.
Mm. Yeah, so yeah, the Dunedin Community Garden is a beautiful place. I'm glad that you brought that up because I did want to touch on that. I did have my class at the Dunedin Community Center indoors for many years, and I always felt like this pull to be outside, So even at the Dunedin Community Center, when it was nice out, I would take the class outside. We would all meet inside, and then when everybody was there, we'd all go outdoors and laugh our way out the door, and we'd go out into the beautiful green space outside and do the class there. And and so I really did have my class there for many, many years and loved it. But then when the pandemic shut everything down, the community center, of course, couldn't be open. They couldn't have any classes there. And I belong to the Dunedin Community Garden. And so I asked if I could have the class there. And it's just been the most perfect thing, like it really has been the most perfect thing. To be at that space, like you saw, it's a beautiful space with all these beautiful plants growing and everything. And it's just been such a blessing to be able to be there and be outside. And, every once in a while, the weather's not great, but this is Florida, and most of the time the weather is fine, and we have the shelter there. So if it's raining, we can be underneath the shelter, um, we hardly ever have to cancel a class, really. So, and yeah, it's really nice having it outdoors. Mhm.
That's amazing. That
Yeah.
space is so beautiful. What goes on there? Do people like just come and grow things?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you heard how excited I get talking about doing the laughter yoga there. I was like, ah. Yes. So the Dunedin Community Garden is a nonprofit organization, and it's in a city park, but the city let the garden have that space to do a community garden. So each person has their own 8 foot by 4 foot raised bed. So each person rents that every year. It costs about $40 a year to rent the garden bed. And each person grows whatever they want in their own garden bed, and it's mainly that people grow edible food,
Wow.
versus like ornamental plants. I mean, we have a lot of flowers there, of course, and ornamentals, but mostly it's people grow things to eat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's it, it's kind of funny, just bringing it back for a moment to the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series, um, where the model that we're using is all about literally setting the sacred space for our transformation. And part of that
Mm,
is bringing those different ingredients together within ourselves to birth what we want to co-create with the universe. And so to be able to be in a space where we it's such a sacred space. You can feel it when you go there. And we're alchemizing things in that sacred space. And so it's like, anyone who comes there for this particular class, you're gonna have that like that memory of all of this grounding energy behind you of like when we do the work, when we even address the more difficult things in life and we choose to make it humorous and lighter, we can transform anything. And that physical backdrop behind us is a reminder of like, you just got to keep doing the work. You got to keep doing the work and you'll see the beauty. And so
yes.
I'm very, very excited to be doing it in that space. I'm so glad you suggested it. It was quite um, you know, uh, a cool because like I had no idea where I was going to have this class. I had no
Mm.
idea, and I was just like, universe, just show me and point me, and it was like, bam, there's Elizabeth, there she is, and she's like, I have the perfect space. And I'm like, yes. And then when I did my little test drive over there, I was like, wow. And so like uh, a little bit deeper in regards to the Dunedin Community Gardens, is there any volunteer opportunities over there that people can get involved?
Yeah, there are some. Mostly people become a member. It's
Hmm.
$25 just to become a member of the community garden, not necessarily to have a garden bed there, but you can just
Okay.
become a member. For $25, you become a member, and then you can volunteer there to, maybe help with different projects that we have, or the compost area, or maybe even fixing, some people have different skills, they can fix things or whatever, or and then we have workshops that we do every month there on growing. It always has something to do with growing plants. So you would also get our newsletter telling you about the workshops and everything. It's really quite an amazing place. I just wanted to also say one of the things about the garden is, the plants create such good oxygen. I really don't remember exactly the scientific thing that all the plants do. They are amazing.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing about laughter yoga is when we do it, we're getting more oxygen into our bodies, which is so good for us. So
Mm.
good for us, and being outside, watching the plants grow, getting the good oxygen,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. I actually, in a moment, I would love to go deeper into the benefits of laughter yoga. But I
Okay.
want to draw one little like in previous podcasts, I spoke about the energetics of what's going on right now, the planetaries. And we have like a few transits. Like right now, we're in Aquarius season. So right now, what we're experiencing is a lot of electrifying energy. And for some, like myself at least, I feel like time is speeding up in a way. And the other transit we have going on is Pluto. The Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. And right now, that is being paired with this electrifying energy of Aquarius, where it's all about like shaking shit up and shifting our frequency. And sometimes that shaking shift up is very uncomfortable, which laughter yoga definitely can be super uncomfortable. But that's okay because being in our comfort zone all the time will not allow us to grow. So when we do step outside our comfort zones, we begin to start that process of growth. And that that nice backdrop of, the garden growing is a perfect little example there. And I'll take it a little further, because not only do we have that going on, but we also have Uranus, which is the planet that rules Aquarius. So it has that same energy of that electrifying energy. It's radical change. And what's going on there is that is in Taurus energy, which is Taurus is this grounding, um, energy that we plant things to grow. So right there in the planetaries, are we shown right now how we create community together? One of the perfect examples we can do that to create change in this world is a community garden. And when we do that, because community gardens give us the opportunity to, one, interface with other people, you know, and collaborate, but also we can learn to grow our own food. And in this day and age, that is so important. We have so much crap in the grocery stores right now, especially in America. And I hate to say it like that, but what's better than to meet with a bunch of friends in a community space and put the loving intention into the entire growth process that you then get to consume.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
so
it is
what
a
we
great.
put into our body is so important. And how we treat our body, um, because this is our vessel, um, is very important. And so as we do laughter yoga, um, what are those benefits for us?
Well, like I said, the oxygen is so important, to our bodies. And that's one of the things like in yoga, the breathing part of yoga is so important. And that's one of the things in laughter yoga, we do some breathing exercises and some stretching, and you get more oxygen when you're laughing. And the most important component of our breath is the oxygen.
Hmm.
You know, the deep breathing techniques increase oxygen to the cells and are the most important factor. Studies have shown it's the most important factor in living a disease-free and energetic life. Breathing oxygen.
Wow. That's
Right?
so good. That is amazing. Last night, for the Leo class, we actually did breath work, and um, I it, I thought it was gonna be harder. I think the brain wants to tell me that breath work. No, I don't want to do it. And then I start laughing, and then it's all better. And like, but but like, okay. But yeah, like I actually had a really good class last night with that breath work, because I normally tell myself, "Oh, you can't do breath work." I mean, like, I don't know why I tell myself that story, because last night it was so enjoyable. And it's just like, but we all have something that we replay in our mind and tell ourselves, that is not so helpful. And when we can identify it, we can be like, that was ridiculous. And like, what?
Yeah. That's
But
another thing I'd like to touch on a little bit, because laughter yoga is called laughter yoga. Sometimes people think that we're going to be doing asanas or yoga poses while we laugh, and as you know, it's not really that. It's but I always like to remind people that the word yoga loosely translated means unity. So anytime that we're doing anything that incorporates our body, mind, and spirit and unifies our body, mind, and spirit is yoga, you know? So it can be different things for different people. And that's another thing about laughter yoga is connecting people. The unconditional laughter connects people from different cultures and countries, and no matter what language we speak, laughter is the unifying language, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what language we talk in, the laughter is the same no matter where you go. And laughter yoga promotes a strong union between people when they laugh together and creates a
Mm,
bond. It's
amen.
beautiful to have fun with other people.
Right? This is gonna be a great electrifying class. I can just feel it.
And then one of the other things is playfulness, which, sometimes in our lives, when you go somewhere and there's little kids running around, you always hear them laughing and yay, and they're always running around just having a great time, right? But then, as we age and we get a little bit older, then we have bills to pay, et cetera, et cetera. We don't do that as much as we did when we were little kids. Studies have shown, I think it's, like a 4-year-old laughs about like, just say 400 times a day. And then a 40-year-old laughs about 10. I mean? It's like the difference is amazing. And the studies that they've done, it's such a huge difference in how many times we laugh per day. Of course, Katriel, for you, it's different.
I was
Because
just gonna say
you
I must be a
basically
child.
you basically are doing laughter yoga much more than most people are doing it. So, congratulations on that. But and also, so laughter yoga does create like to, give us that childlike behavior that we don't often get to do in other spaces.
Yeah.
And one of the things we do in laughter yoga, one of the exercises after many of the exercises, we clap our hands, we go, very good, yay! Just for fun, right? Because when we do that, it helps us connect to that childlike behavior, that celebration thing. And then we all in laughter yoga, we always say celebrate everything, anything, and nothing.
Mm.
So throughout my day, whatever I'm doing, sometimes I'll just say, like something goes right, or even if something doesn't go the way I want it to, very good, yay! And it's just fun.
Great.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Actually, I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm just always gonna have questions. It's just that's what I've noticed about myself. Like it's like a never-ending question for myself, but I love it. Um, in regards to someone who would want to do like laughter yoga certification, where does someone do that? Because I'm sure there's a lot of beings out there that just love to laugh and maybe could actually guide that laughter and help other people.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what is the question exactly?
For a laughter yoga certification, um, how could someone get connected to go through that training?
Well, actually, I don't know a person right nearby anymore, but I do think that they have the classes online now through
Oh,
Laughter
wow.
Yoga. Yeah, the website is laughteryoga.org. That's the worldwide website, laughteryoga.org. And
Okay.
now they have come that far with the trainings and the technology that I'm pretty sure I saw in there that now you can do it online, with Zoom classes. So that's awesome. And they also have resources on the website where you can find people nearby. Like I said, I don't think there's anybody that can certify people right now in our area, but maybe not too far away. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. How long
Mhm.
is that process, do you feel? Or well, you know, but whatever.
Um, well, mine was classes for about 3 months, but it wasn't every day. We would do the
Gotcha.
classes, I think, 2 or 3 days a week, and then we would have homework. So one of the great things is when you're doing the certification training, you laugh every single day. You do it every single day. It's awesome.
That
I
feels
really
like the
saw
best certification ever.
you. Right? Yes.
That and being a clown. I never did that, but like
Hmm.
I- they have like these medical clowns or whatever. And at first, when I was inquiring about laughter yoga, I thought it was the same, and it wasn't. But so cool. Like, wow.
So
Um,
more benefit. I just want to go over a couple more benefits.
yes, please.
Um, and anti-aging benefits. Ooh, I know, right? Facial exercise of laughter reduces wrinkles and sagging by firming up our facial muscles. It makes sense, right? We're using them, you know. Even in yoga, we use our, you know, we do a lot of things with our faces, you know, because it's good to, you know, for toning of our face and things like that. And then the mental, emotional, and spiritual benefits. Laughter just makes it easier to cope with life's challenges, basically, you know. If something's going on. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit is they have also done studies where, you know how like when a person is stressed out, you know, the body creates adrenaline and things like that, you know, which as we've learned, you know, adrenaline is great if you need to escape the lion. We just don't want the adrenaline going on all the time. And in our modern world, that's what happens a lot. You know, there's a lot more stressful things and everything like that. So it's very good, you know, for us to take care of our stress and manage stress and, you know, take good care of ourselves, right? So one of the things they found is like if a person is stressed out, um, you can change that immediately by laughing because
Wow.
our bodies are not made to do both of those things at the same time. It's one or the other. This is what they
Mm,
found studying the human body. So if a person is stressed out and their body is creating adrenaline and cortisol and the things that are not good for us at long term, if we just start laughing, it turns that off and turns on the good things from the laughter, like endorphins and things like that, which are very good for the body. So, like driving is one of the things that I find stressful sometimes. So you might see me in my car all by myself laughing because I do that very often when I'm driving. If I start to feel stressed out about a lot of traffic or sitting at the red light for a long time, I just start laughing. and, and
Okay.
it's great because it makes me feel better. And then you know, I don't know, and it also is a good lesson about like not caring what other people think because I don't know, like if people see me in my car, I don't know what they're thinking about what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, they might think I'm listening to something funny on the radio, or I don't know, they might think I'm talking on my phone to somebody, and I don't know, but but it's great, you know, it's a great place to, you know, be able to do that and, you know, practice it. I really think that that's one of the reasons that cell phones are invented because if I'm somewhere and I'm feeling upset or anxious, I can pull out my cell phone and I can just make pretend I'm on the phone. It's so great.
Now we
I can
finally
put the
found out the
phone
true reason.
right. Like, yes, exactly. Like, um, I can just pull out my phone, I put it up to my face, like I'm, you know, hearing the funniest joke I ever heard on the phone. Awesome.
Now that is a good benefit to a cell phone.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, that's great.
Mhm.
Oh wow. I remember one time, very side note kind of thing, but I was in my car driving. I found a song that I was getting real into, and I started to like perform the entire thing. I'm in my own world, and then I happen to just like slightly look over to my right, and there's another car over there like, "Yeah, you go to it." Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's hilarious." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I just busted out laughing. It was the funniest thing. But it's like
Mhm.
I love that factor of like, laughter does, allow us to completely step outside our comfort zone and not care what anybody thinks.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's a huge benefit because, like, we often, again, get inside our head. We put up, I mean, think about it in regards to fears. I was listening to a podcast yesterday in regards to how, fears could run our life if we choose to. But if we just choose to, to, essentially shift that perspective, and this is an opportunity for shifting a perspective, is through laughter, we won't even remember what the heck the fear was about. Like, it's like, oh, okay, and I'm just gonna go do this now. Like, like
Yeah.
so I encourage those who come for this class, if you're in a crappy mood, come. If you've been going through fears and don't know how to like get out of that, come. If there's been a lot of heaviness in your life, come. If your life is great, come.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's benefits for literally all.
Yeah. Yeah. If your life is great, then come in and share all that good energy with everybody else in a space where that's what exactly what we're doing, you know. I know, and one of the other benefits is overcoming pain. And I've seen this for myself and others in my class so many times, because when
Hmm.
we laugh and it creates all that good energy and the good endorphins and everything, that's what helps us with pain. And so they've actually, they've done more studies about when people incorporate laughter into their healing process, they have shorter recovery times, better recovery times, um, their pain is less, like, how a lot of times when people are having pain, they ask them, what is it on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever, after they laugh, it's always less. It's always less. And
Wow.
I've had this happen for myself, I've had, like sometimes an injury or something like that, like actually right now I sprained my ankle recently, and a
Um,
really bad sprain. And so I went to laughter yoga last Saturday, and I was limping, it was
yeah.
hurting. Oh yeah, I forgot all about it when I was doing laughter yoga. I really did. Like, what, it stopped hurting after I left there. It felt like, I don't know, like 75% better. It was really
Wow.
amazing. I even I was amazed, even though I know these things, but I've also seen it happen for so many other people that come to my class, they'll say, they might have an injury or something like that, or I don't know, I don't know exactly how to say it, but when people have a heart heaviness, you
Hmm.
know, um, pain that way, maybe from a relationship or whatever it might be, it also helps that, that
Wow.
people are able to come and laugh. A lot of people come to laughter yoga when they're in the grieving process because, when losing a person that way, a lot of people come to laughter yoga to be able to just let go, a little bit, and um, have some joy, healing.
Wow.
It's very healing. Mhm.
I'm just kind of like reflecting back on that very first and only class that I've had with laughter yoga. Actually, you're demonstrating it right now. I was gonna say, I remember I needed so much water after that class. I shook up so much stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need this to like, you know, to move through everything. I had such a workout in my abs. It was ridiculous. That's another benefit.
Yeah, that is another benefit.
You'll have core good abs after that. Doing it consistently. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I was in like, oh, it was such a good like feeling though, you know? Like that's exactly how I want to work out from now on.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us in regards to laughter yoga?
Mhm. Well, just, the basic, like it improves communication, but also it can just, it just creates a positive energy, just creates a positive energy with us and the world around us. And at the end of laughter yoga class, we always say, um, laughter yoga, the mission of laughter yoga is world peace. And I really believe that. I always think whenever I see people going through such a hard time, I think, if they could all be laughing together right now, it would completely change that whole scenario, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so that is the mission of laughter yoga, world peace through laughter yoga.
Wow. It, it's funny. I was kind of thinking through titles in my head for this podcast, and it was like, laughter will make the world whole. Like, that's literally what I was thinking. It was funny because I was thinking of the word peace, but I was like, then I started thinking about the word shalom in the Hebrew, which actually means wholeness. And so, wow,
Yes.
that's exactly the vibration I was getting from laughter yoga. That's great.
Mhm.
So, the laughter yoga class, I have my handy dandy. Well, you can kind of see it. It's the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series journal that I've created for the series, for 2024, and it has all of the information about what the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series is, and of course, our handy dandy schedule, which is so nice because then I don't have to like remember everything at the drop of a hat. I have a little help. Um, so again, that laughing yoga class is at the Dunedin Community Gardens, on Sunday, February 18th, from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, it'd be funny if you came at Central Time, because no. And that is donation based. So, bring yourself. Like, even if you're just bringing yourself, and that's it. Like, that's that's where it's at, you know? And what's cool is not like right immediately after that, around 3 to 5 p.m. that same day at Enchanted Spirits, which is literally down the street, I'll be doing a Kabbalah class. So I think it's going to be kind of fun to see how going from a laughter yoga class and going into like the deep mysteries of Kabbalah, how that will actually transform the experience. So I'm super excited. And for anyone who is also interested in doing some Kabbalah and some laughter yoga and then trying the experiment with me, hey.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But uh so for those who are not necessarily aware with the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series, I touched on it a little bit. But essentially what we've gone through thus far with from the podcast version is we talked about how important it is to set sacred space for a transformation. So essentially every single week we're going to be experiencing a new zodiac energy, and I have two different paths, an online path and an in-person. And you can jump in between any one of them. And it's more about getting what you need, um, for like for your own life. And so when we jump into like Scorpio week, we're really talking about setting that sacred space for that transformation. And if we look at the zero energy, we have um everything that's on the outside, which is that kind of primordial energy. The chaos, it can be called. It's the stuff that's hidden. It's it's those natural energies that are just swirling around us. And what we're doing is we're creating a boundary of sacred space in our life. And so this is where our intention setting is really, really, really important. And then once we go through this Scorpio energy, we start adding in beautiful ingredients into the sacred space. And that first ingredient is love. It's the heart space. It's Leo. And Leo is connected to the sun. And so naturally, when we talk about something that has light, we immediately are referencing darkness as well, because we're in a duality, on this planet. And that's okay. So as we jump into Leo, we're saying, okay, let me go a little bit deeper into what's going on in here, into the heart space, and shine some light on it. And so we start to identify what what we want to lead with our heart, like how we want to lead with our heart, what things we love to do, what things bring us like pure love and joy. And so, I mean, hey, we got laughter yoga that brings us pure love and joy. And so, um, we're doing like this past week, we just finished those classes, is painting, expressing ourselves, and how important it is to express ourselves. And then we shift into bringing the next ingredient in, which is our feeling. Our feeling, which is essentially a vibration of the soul. And so we're aligning that heart and the soul together for this experience. So that when we are wanting to co-create something with the universe, we are starting off with a sacred space of that connection with source. And we're bringing in the heart and we're bringing in the soul. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a recipe for success. And so, for Cancer Week, we're going to be going into moonology, and we're going to be going into us as an empath and how we can actually thrive as an empath. And so, don't know what just happened. Okay. And so essentially, um, after that, we have to add another ingredient in, which is Sagittarius energy. And that's about the stories we tell ourselves. That is the I believe energy. That is the um, expansion. And so we're going into the Lakota tradition, and I feel like it's going to be an incredible week for Sagittarius of expanding our energies so that when we get to Aquarius, Aquarius, is about shaking shift up and raising our frequency, you know? And and so we're going through this process together, and that's a key here with this series. It's we're not doing it alone. We should never feel like we're doing it alone. We're doing it as one heartbeat. And so if you're um if you're excited about what I just spoke about and would like to go deeper, check out energyspeaksbykatriel.com. I have um the classes and classes. There's the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series. It will take you to two paths. You're online or you're in person. And there is a schedule on there that is like linear for those who work with a linear brain. Because, like, for me, that's important. But I also do have a calendar for someone who likes to be a little bit more interactive. And then we have the events. And I'm doing my best to add the events, and have them up as quickly as possible ahead of time. But again, that linear calendar, everything is up there. You can click on the event and you can purchase your ticket. You can also, if it's an in-person class, just show up. Like, we'll handle it. Like, it's okay. Like, and the only thing that it's very essential to do that ticket is the online, because you'll have to have a Zoom link, and it's a private Zoom link. But I hope by offering this and and collaborating with many beautiful souls, as practitioners, we're really doing something potent and bringing people together to really transform our inner world to translate into our outer world. So I just want to say thank you so much, Elizabeth, for being a part of this series and bringing your gift to our community. I'm just so grateful.
Thank you.
Mer. That's my language. Mer. And I want to say also on the website with the online path, you can check out Elizabeth. Um, all of the information, under practitioners, you can find out all about her, and there's different links on how you can connect with her. And if you want to know the specific dates for laughter yoga, to be more consistent with it and make it a part of your life, you can connect with her. And you can find out more about like the classes, in detail, underneath, and the locations as well. It's all on there. I know it's a lot of energy, but I'm very excited. And again, thank you. And I just also want to say thank you all to our listeners. You know, um, I really want to meet all of you, um, and not just in spirit. I want to meet all of you in the physical, and I'm setting that intention to get to know you, and your names, and more about what you do and how we can collaborate in the future, because that's the world we're creating together. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, I just thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, and thank you for all your good work.
Mer. And thank you, everyone. And that is this episode for Aquarius, for the Zodiac Energy Empowerment Series. And I will see you next time.